Hello guys, hope you're all having a wonderful day. So today we're gonna talk about a lot of general tips which some people miss out on when starting to get to know the ropes, and also some sneaky tricks even veterans miss out on. We're gonna be talking about how to obtain silver, general, world map and combat tips. These are going to be focused on boosting your beginner experience and will be followed with detailed videos focusing on singular topics. If you want to see a specific topic get more attention or just want to see it come out faster, leave your wish in the comments. So let's start with some combat tips, which you may have not known and may evidently boost your game significantly. First and most obvious would be for when you have a huge push going on both sides with 3 or more heroes fighting ferociously. The first thing you think of doing is jumping into combat and doing your share of damage, right? Well, that's often not the case. Keeping a cool head and taking those extra 2 to 3 seconds to flank with your hero, you can manage to hit the sides of all the 3 pushing enemy heroes, daze them, deal double the damage, and most importantly, relieve the pressure they were putting on your friendly heroes and troops, allowing them to deal massive amounts of damage back unhindered. Score-wise, you gain little directly for your actions, however, focusing on clever tactics and team play, especially when there's a decisive battle going on, can often be the deciding factor on winning the game. Next tip is what should you focus on. Don't be the mindless brute that just jumps into a pool of enemies and starts swinging his weapon around. Try to evaluate your team's position based on the classes and units they've chosen, so you can better imagine which troops you're going to need most and are going to complement your team the best. Also, once you've done this, keep a close eye on which classes the enemy team has, since it will drastically help you imagine which direction the battles will be taking once you get used to this thought process. Along this, you should also get to know what your class is good at. Should you focus on troop kills, on hero kills, or capturing points? I hope this doesn't come as a surprise to most of you, but each class has its mastery, ranging from highly specified to more diversified roles. Of course, as far as plans go, if you truly have trouble forming one or are just new to strategy type games, tend to stick with the team, preferably the side of the team that is pushing successfully in force. Having you there in the front lines accompanied with your troops is definitely going to help the more seasoned players within your team. Whether you are defending or attacking, try to use all the siege engines and especially all the artillery that is readily available to you to maximum effect. Also, if you're playing bow, it's expected you leave the siege engines to the non-ranged classes, especially at the early siege phase. If you see an engagement opportunity that doesn't involve flanking and your odds are worse than 2 to 1, I generally advise not engaging, since your units are generally way better spent off in engagements supported by a bigger or similar force. Fight to win, flank and harass. So regarding your character, I always say, and am going to continue saying, experiment with your attributes and skill sets. If something works for you, you can still have hidden potential which can be expressed in a new skill loadout. Experiment, I mean, it's for free. Once you main a character, you can see yourself doing 1,000 more battles with that weapon. Focus on maxing out your ultimate, since the benefit usually drastically improves your damage output and lowers your cooldown. The best tip I could give combat wise would be innovative, and remember, there is a hidden combat aspect within the game, which is morale. Yes, morale. Imagine you're defending against a wave of enemies with favorable odds, but suddenly you see a solo enemy player that just hit your rear or side with some infantry. A lot of players are going to start to panic at this point and are already considering to pull back, with the rest remaining that stood their ground, split their forces, enabling your allies to push with favorable odds and also receive double damage due to flanking. This method is best done with high damage dealing or highly armored horses or highly armored heroes. Use the psychology of battle against your enemies. And last but not least, don't forget that you can easily heal and resupply your troops just by pressing Ctrl and pressing on a resupply supply point. This is massive, especially if most of your troops are very low. It's always better to live and fight again than to just charge senselessly. Keeping that in mind, your absolute top priority should be staying alive, especially in death matches and field battles. Rarely the award of an attack outweighs the penalty of dying, so be careful when choosing your engagements. A few efficient ways to obtain silver is to collect resources from the world map and sell it off on market for silver. This basically just makes you convert your bronze into silver. This is time consuming and frankly quite boring. A much more fun way of getting silver is by raiding rebel camps and defeating preferably hard rebels on the map, since you can sell off the gear you obtain from them or turn them in for thief quests and sell the unit equipment you unboxed. Along with the silver, this earns you a bunch of honor and experience for your house. To max your silver production, I'd highly advise not using the crafting materials you receive, but rather sell them. If you find yourself in need of them, however, just buy horse equipment and salvage the needed materials from them. Horse equipment only costs 400 bronze per piece and is generally worth it, since silver is way harder to obtain than bronze. As far as markets go, most of the things you are going to be selling is going to be at a low price. However, some epic items or gear do fetch a higher price. Generally, the best time to sell on the market starts on Friday and ends on Sunday, since many more casual gamers come on at that period, plus territory war on Saturday usually means a higher demand for items, specifically siege items. More general tips regarding game mechanics would be to not rush with opening your equipment and weapon boxes, along with skill page books. Only open them once you actually need that item. You never know when you're going to want to try another class or want to build a specific armor or weapon set. So to avoid too much awkwardness and frustration, just save all your boxes until you actually need them. This is a weird one, but you can repair your equipment and recondition it. There's a massive difference which surprisingly some people didn't quite understand. You can repair your equipment on your character menu. However, once it degrades to a certain point, you can recondition it by using all the same items you would to make the same item. Reconditioning is only recommended when you have epic or legendary rarity, or if you have a specific attribute which you would like to keep. If your gear is only blue, keep crafting new ones until you get epic or legendary. Researching units. First and foremost, do not research bonuses for specific troops until you have used that unit, you dream about that unit, and you're 100% sure you're going to be keeping and using that unit for endgame. This is to avoid any unnecessary spending of honor. Also take your time in knowing which unit you want to research, maybe even spectate which units people are using in battles. A solid research line to go with is squires, since they provide a defensive and aggressive troop followed with a heavy ass cavalry. You can feed your horse, who knew? You can get the necessary hay from the horse merchant located in every capital. Also, I'd highly advise having 2 or more horses if your primary one gets slain, which also means armor. Buy the blue armor once you can afford it from the horse merchant. I mean, who knows? That could just save your life in battle. What to join? Free houses or the Legion? Well, definitely not the Legion, that's one thing. And if you do end up joining the Legion, you can't leave for 7 days compared to the 24-hour cooldown if you want to leave a free house. I'd definitely advise joining one that speaks your language as soon as possible so you can get all the benefits it offers, and a community that is going to be on hand to help you and introduce you to the game. If they don't support you, however, leave. Find a good house, trust me, you will know why once you do. Speaking of such, join Austrian Republic, featuring a unique house leadership system consisting of council members, enabling you to rise from cadet to the very top, full of friendly people focusing on getting the best out of this game and of course speaking English. We are located on Midgard European Server 5. Last tip regarding the general game is do your F4 quests. Focus on them. They provide you with very useful stuff, so don't be shy. What to do in the cruel world of Conquerors Blade? Well, if you are hunting for random world drops, you can spot them more easily by zooming out your camera and spotting distant shines which indicate there's a random drop there. While moving with your warband, either to farm or whatever the hell you are going to do, probably ambush some poor resource gatherer, always have one diverse and strong troop ready to engage any greedy ambushers players such as yourself. Don't be afraid to explore the map, since any losses you receive aren't really that expensive. They used to be massive when the game wasn't yet fully released, but it turned Care Bear, so go nuts! If you run out of food, you can resupply at any friendly village or city. You can get food from rebels if you have enough to even engage them, or you can just resource gather it from the nearest farm. Hope these quick tips help you better play the game. I definitely have more to share and specific topics to go into detail, so don't forget to leave your suggestion in the comments. If you are eager to hear more, please leave a like and subscribe to keep notified and help me out.